Okay, so if you're a leader, you know that your success really hinges on the quality of your decisions. But here's a thought. What if the very instincts that got you to this point are actually holding you back now? Today, we're going to explore a really powerful framework that's designed to uncover those decision-making blind spots and give you a genuine edge. Let's jump right in. Look, as a leader, the pressure it's immense. You're constantly facing choices with super high stakes and, let's be honest, incomplete information. And what do? We often fall back on our gut, our default instincts. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if those exact instincts, the ones that got you this far, are now the biggest threat to your growth?
So let's just put it out there, plain and simple. When the pressure is on, when everything is on the line, are your gut reactions truly helping you? Or could they be creating these huge blind spots that you can't even see?
And this really gets to the absolute heart of it. This isn't just some nice-to-have skill. Nope. Leadership experts all agree it is one of the core responsibilities you have. The quality of your leadership is directly, and I mean directly, tied to the quality of your decisions. So, how do we get better at this? Well, we're going to use a pretty powerful framework called the Enneagram. Now, don't think of it as just another personality label. Think of it more like a map of 9 core motivations that drive how we all behave. It's a tool that really helps you uncover the why behind your choices, especially when you're under pressure. And this is where it gets really practical for leaders. See, the Enneagram shows you your innate patterns, that automatic script your mind runs when the stakes get high. It gives you the power to actually see that script playing out, and more importantly, it gives you the choice to rewrite it. So the sources point to 4 main tendencies that leaders often default to. Which one of these sounds like you? Are you cautious, needing to map out every single risk before you act? Or are you decisive, driving for action and momentum above everything else? Maybe you're the analytical type, wanting to dissect every last piece of data. Or are you instinctive, just trusting that gut feeling to guide the way? Knowing your default, that is the first step.
So once you know your default style, well, that's when the real work begins. And look, this is not about suppressing your instincts. Not at all. It's about balancing them. The whole goal is to move from an automatic, knee-jerk reaction to a much more thoughtful, considered response.
And this is such a crucial point. This whole journey isn't about fighting against your nature. If you're naturally decisive, that's a huge strength. The goal is just to build the capacity to slow down and analyze when you need to. It's all about adding more tools to your leadership toolkit, not throwing your old ones away.
So here's what that shift looks like in the real world. Over on the left, you've got that unbalanced approach, just pure caution, right? Which leads to analysis paralysis and a ton of missed opportunities. But on the right, you have balance. That same cautious leader intentionally seeks out their most decisive colleague or their most data-driven analyst to pressure test their assumptions. That's how really sound decisions get made. So the path forward is actually pretty clear. First, you've got to identify your tendency. Second, you have to practice. And this isn't some thought exercise. It means using real-world scenarios to test yourself under a bit of pressure. And third, you balance by making it a total non-negotiable habit to seek out different perspectives before you make that final call. Which brings us to the ultimate payoff. What happens when you really master this stuff? You transform into a more confident and, honestly, a more effective leader. This self-awareness isn't just some intellectual exercise. It has a profound impact on your presence and your performance. And it all leads to this incredible transformation. By understanding your type and practicing this idea of balance, you're not just making smarter choices. You're becoming a leader who genuinely trusts their own judgment because you know it's well-rounded and not just a product of a single unchecked instinct. So, what's the bottom line here? What's your payoff? Well, you'll make sounder decisions, especially when the heat is on. You'll lead with a more authentic confidence that comes from deep self-awareness. And you'll bring a totally new level of balance to your leadership. And trust me, that's something your team will definitely notice and appreciate. And we'll end with this thought. This isn't just theory for some day in the future. It's a tool you can use today. As you go about your day, think about the very next choice you have to make. It could be big or small, doesn't matter. What's the first decision you'll approach with this new level of awareness?